Hey everyone, Extreme here. We're back on our channel and we have DTA admin with us yet again. Welcome and thank you for being on the channel with your predictions and analysis of the different markets today.
Hi, Drickus. I hope everything is well, and thanks again for having me back on the channel. It's always exciting, especially when our price predictions all play out.
For sure, especially EOS and Ethereum just made a run for it. While prediction is still a bit high, but it's surely on its way. So the guys who's been watching and the ladies been watching the channel and the podcast would have made decent profits if they followed those two predictions for sure. But what do you have for us today? What can we be looking forward to?
All right. Well, today I'm just going to be running through Bitcoin and Ethereum and just some potential positions that we could get ready for, especially for Bitcoin. Ethereum, we're going to look at some prices where we might hit some resistance, have some decent corrections or some sort of a cool down period before we have another leg to the upside.
Brilliant. Let's go for it. Let's see where's the opportunities to make some gains.
Yes. So at the moment, this is the Bitcoin chart, and I just want to run through a couple of points here. You can see every time we working our way to this orange box, we hitting some sort of resistance, getting rejected. We hit resistance, get rejected. We kind of made it through, but couldn't hold it above that level, and we came back down. One thing I do notice is we are creating higher lows every single time we're coming down. So the shape or the pattern that I can see forming at this current moment is an ascending wedge. Now, ascending wedges are bullish. Okay, so they normally break to the upside more often than breaking to the bottom side. However, we can't cancel out one thing over here, which is this could also be a very nice bear flag. And bear flags are continuation patterns. So normally you have a very severe push down, some sort of buyer recovery for some time, and then a break back down to test the previous support. However, if we were to break to the upside, if we take Fibonacci, my trusty friend, and we just layer that over there, you can see this resistance box, this orange resistance box over here, lines up very nicely with the 61.8 Fibonacci. And with Fibonacci, that is the most common rejection or resistance area, especially when the market has come down. Excuse me. So if we do break this current resistance box, because it's been acting as such strong resistance, if we break it, I feel we can quickly go back and test previous structure or the previous all-time high at this stage, which is approximately 64,000. But I think the momentum that we're going to have breaking through that can easily take us to the 168 Fibonacci zone. So I reckon if we break this resistance, we can easily break the all-time high, which is approximately $65,000, and we'll have enough momentum to at least take us to this Fibonacci level, which is the 16180, which is approximately $75,000. I do think this is going to happen. And if we just zoom out and go back, sorry, give me a sec here. We just go to the weekly, just to get some perspective. Honestly, Bitcoin, in my opinion, has just been consolidating. So if we just approximately take that, you can see we've kind of just been consolidating for a couple of weeks. I actually call this an accumulation phase. I think this is especially considering it's not a blow off top. So normally when we see a market blow off top, the market really goes parabolic and then has a very, very sharp correction, and then it will continue going down. So this does not look like a market top to me or any sort of blow off top. I think this is accumulation phase. where the market is just cooling down, we're accumulating, and then we're going to have the next leg up, which I think the first strong resistance we're going to hit is approximately the $75,000 mark. However, if we do break to the downside, we're going to just look at it this way. If we just take Fibonacci from the high to the bottom, we can easily come back to previous structure, which is approximately the 47K mark. And if that doesn't hold, which I think it might not, the next target would be the 42 to 43K zone. So all depending at this moment, if we can hold this current ascending wedge, approximately like that, with the resistance line, give or take more or less over there. Wait a sec. So if we can hold this current ascending wedge and actually break to the upside, that will be fantastic. We can easily hit the all-time high one more time and potentially move up to the 75K zone. If we don't and we break down, we can quickly work our way back to the 47K. And if there's a lot of momentum, a lot of selling pressure, we can fall back to that 42 to 43K zone in the immediate short term. So very important time for Bitcoin at this moment. Is pretty much what's happening over there. So yeah, let's just have a look. We have to be patient at this moment and see if we're going to break this trend line to the downside. In fact, I can actually move it like that. So if we break this trend line, if we're trying to look for hope, there is a support line over there approximately, which might save the price from going down, and we can work our way back up. And let me just illustrate that. We might break down, find some sort of support, and work our way up. However, if we break this final support, I think the 47K is inevitable, and more than likely the 42, potentially even the 40K, because of the psychological resistance, the psychological support for Bitcoin. That's what I see for Bitcoin.
Well, I totally agree. The 75 mark with the Fibonacci 161.8 is a huge number that's been going around a lot. So people are expecting it to get there. And for example, the channel we're currently in, where they're consolidating, like you say, that's a major point. If it breaks down, it might keep falling. If it breaks up, new all-time highs, and the moon is the limit.
100%. Just one more thing. I don't think, like I mentioned previously, that I don't think this is the market top or the bull market end, because I don't think we've seen, especially Bitcoin, we haven't seen any true parabolic move where it does maybe 100% move within less than a week, maybe 200-300% within less than a couple of weeks, with a very drastic correction. So I still think that's on the cards. And like I said previously, I believe anything between $100,000 and $150,000 per coin is a fair value at the top of the market. If it goes higher, that's just a bonus. I don't think it will, but if it does, we might have a blow off top close to the $280,000 to $300,000 mark. But I mean, I highly doubt that's going to happen. A more conservative bet would be anything between 100 and 150.
For sure. I totally agree. The options are endless, but only time is going to tell when it's going to reach it.
Yes, 100%. And let's quickly go on to Ethereum. So let's just have a look there. Yeah, Ethereum's been going like crazy. And remember, the guys, this is all uncharted territory. So it's very difficult to predict where we're going to top out. However, we can use psychological resistance points. So if we think of it, once we pass the $1,000 mark, the next very strong psychological resistance would be $5,000. It's just a round number. It's halfway to 10. So I believe we're going to find a lot of resistance there. So if we were to put some sort of a line, or just to indicate where that $5,000 approximately mark is, and take Fibonacci, our trusty tool, once again. And we take it from the previous all-time high and we pull it down to the last higher low, okay, or the last dip. And as you can see, we're currently finding resistance approximately, if I just bring that down, we're currently finding resistance on the 127 zone, okay? I believe that we should easily break this within the short term and work our way to this $5,000 mark. It also kind of coincides with the 26180, which is also a very popular resistance zone when utilizing Fibonacci. And also it coincides with the $5,000 psychological resistance. Remember, all-time highs, uncharted territory. It's very difficult to predict where it might find a resistance because you can't look left. There's no previous data to indicate that, yes, it is going to find resistance here. So we can only speculate or kind of guesstimate what's going to happen. But by using Fibonacci and also looking at psychological resistance zones or round numbers, we can safely say that we could easily hit that $5,000 mark. And I reckon we should have a very strong rejection or some sort of longer cool down period where potentially we can come back to the 3.5K mark for another accumulation phase before the next leg up. And I also think once Ethereum kind of starts to top out and its market cap starts to drop, I believe because Bitcoin's been kind of boring, it's kind of consolidated for some time, and as it starts moving, a lot of funds from Ethereum is going to start bleeding back into Bitcoin, giving Bitcoin another leg up. And I think Ethereum will follow thereafter.
I agree. And the major thing I think which we've been seeing lately is Ethereum has broken off Bitcoin. It's not following Bitcoin, which is a good indication, but meaning the market is starting to evaluate its own direction, which is another major thing. And who knows where Ethereum can end up? Maybe even catch up with Bitcoin eventually if it keeps doing this.
Yes, no, 100%. I think personally, I think Ethereum is playing. It seems like it's playing a market cycle behind Bitcoin. So, 2017 when Bitcoin started its cycle, and we went from approximately $100 to $150 all the way up, and we topped out just before the 20K mark. It kind of seems like Ethereum is playing or mimicking exactly what Bitcoin did previously, just a cycle before. So who knows, we might top out at these ridiculous figures. But at this stage, I would conservatively say $5,000 easily. We can definitely easily hit that. I would expect some sort of a pullback once we hit that phase. I mean, we've gone up pretty quick. If we look at it from the 2000 mark, approximately, we've kind of gone parabolic. We've doubled. And if we were to go to $5,000 without a decent cool down, that's 130%. And most assets, once you've moved so drastically to the upside, there has to be some sort of cool down period. People want to take profits, unfortunately, especially if they got in nice and early before the $2,000 mark. People will have to start taking profits, which will create that opportunity for us to accumulate more in preparation for the next leg up.
Exactly. As they take profits, we're dollar costing average back in as the market drops and to keep on going.
Yes, no, fantastic. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And very easy and simple. If we just take from the low and assuming it tops out at approximately $5,000, which is that zone over there, the market will tend to always come down between the 50 and the 61 Fibonacci zone. So that will be a decent place to purchase. Remember, this is not financial advice, everybody. This is just my opinion. If we do top out at approximately that $5,000 mark and we have some sort of a cool down period or phase, I would think between the 3.5 and the 3.8, this particular zone over there would be a decent place to start purchasing, or even start dollar cost averaging as it's falling closer to that range.
For sure. And the other thing is, if it breaks 5,000, we could see that new all-time high me and you predicted in a previous video.
Yes, I think if it breaks 5,000 and continues moving, it's going to be stupid parabolic moves. And we might even hit the 10,000, maybe even higher within a very short period of time. But I do warn, once that happens, the correction is violent. You're going to see drops of 50% very, very quickly. So just be careful. Understand that when a market goes up and when you've made 200, 300, 400% on your capital, most important thing, like rules 101 when it comes to trading, is at least take out your capital. All right. And as it goes higher, just take some profits. Take 5% here, 10% there, 5% there. And continue taking profits all the way up. And even once it tops out and starts coming down and starts giving you lower highs, you can still take profits, because those profits you're taking way up there were going to be much higher if you sold your whole bag earlier.
Exactly. And when taking profits, if the market retrace or make a correction, you can get back in and even own more asset. And that's the main thing.
Yes.
Create yourself the opportunity by doing it.
Of course. And I'm a trader. I take profits in Bitcoin. And I believe that's never a mistake, especially if you truly understand the value and its purpose of long-term holding. It's never a mistake taking profits within profits from a different asset class back into Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin goes up, you're even making more.
For sure. Undoubtedly. Yet again, thank you for today. Appreciate it. Looking forward to this next week, which I reckon might be a little bit volatile than normal.
Yes, I agree with you. It's going to be exciting times.
We'll see you yet again next week. Another update, and let's see what the markets do. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Everyone,
Pleasure.
thanks for watching. And in the description, DTA's information will be. Go follow them and see how good they really are. Have a great one.